What led you to tech sales?
I was in college and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew two things. I loved people and I wanted to be great, whatever that means. And the reality is, it was a Saturday morning, late morning, probably 10 or 11 a.m., when I was at Georgetown University, where I'd gone out the night before. I was drinking at the time and I was a little bit hungover. And my buddy, Chris, also named Chris, my roommate and best friend, gave me a nudge and said, Chris, you said you wanted to get into sales or consulting. There's a career fair going on and this guy, Sean from Oracle's there. It's a great company. Go for it. So my friend gave me a nice little nudge. And I just think it's so important to acknowledge the friends and the people in your life that demand the best from you and push you and see your potential oftentimes more than you even see it yourself in the moment. And so it's a funny way to have started the journey, but he gave me that nudge. I went up to Sean, I shook his hand and said, bring me in and I'm going to make it happen. Just kind of, it's amazing how confidence, it can go such a long way. And I just believe in fake it till you become it. And I was kind of doing that. But I went in there and showed up and shook his hand, and that shook up my future and ended up getting into tech sales. And I have found that it was the perfect career path for someone who loves people, because you get paid to build amazing relationships, not just with your teammates, your managers, and the people you're working with in the context of your company, but with your customers. And I have a CTO I work with that's become like a mentor to me and almost like a second dad. He's got 14 cars and I'm in the back of his Aston Martin a couple of months ago, wind hitting my face, living the life. I'm like, this is amazing. And it started with doing business together. So if you love people, I found that this is such a good path. You get paid to build amazing relationships. And if you want to be great, like I did, you have something inside you that's like, there's a giant inside me waiting to be awoken. I know I can do big things. Sales will help you get into the arena of life and particularly, picking up a phone and making cold calls, and it's going to stretch you to reach your potential. I think the ultimate vehicle to realizing our potential is taking massive action. So you get to do that in sales. And of course, when you're surrounded by people that push you to grow and that are stretching themselves as well, it's contagious. So I could go on and on about how tech sales has been a vehicle to helping me reach my potential. But I really believe through my YouTube channel and this course I launched called Tech Sales Accelerator that this path can be a vehicle to creating a life of freedom and impact. And I'm just so grateful, man, that I stumbled on this path and ended up shaking hands with Sean and shaking up my future.
Okay. Do you see it as a means to an end or as an end in itself?
I do see this path as, again, a vehicle that someone can use to generate income, meaningful relationships, and of course, not just meaningful, but relationships that open doors to opportunities like jobs and business opportunities, self-development, and, just amazing experiences. And so in that way, you could say you can use it as a vehicle, as a means to an end to generating those things. And not to mention one other piece that just hit me too is the skill set that's so transferable. If you want to be an entrepreneur and founder, the only people who sell more than professional sellers are like founders of companies. Whether you're selling to raise funding for your company, selling your vision to a future employee that might have to take lower pay today, but you get them bought in on your vision and you bring them over. That's selling, right? So I do think it is a great vehicle to, again, freedom, financial freedom, impact. And going further in anything you want to do tomorrow. Like I had a lawyer that I worked with, and he was in sales for 10 years. But at the same time, I think it's important to appreciate the journey. And I could see myself staying in sales indefinitely and just being really happy. So I think the journey is really where you experience the joy and meaning that sustains human beings. So there's nothing wrong with using it as a vehicle to a long-term vision and as a springboard, and knowing that it might not be forever, but also please don't jump ahead of yourself. Appreciate every day that you get in the arena and all the growth that comes with this path.